What are the best Batman games on PlayStation? Hi everyone, it's Aaron here from Push Square, and it won't surprise you when I say that there are no shortage of contenders to choose from. Why? Well, because when you think about it, Batman is the perfect video game protagonist. Bruce Wayne's crime-fighting alter ego excels at acrobatic hand-to-hand combat, of course, but he also has access to a wealth of high-tech gadgets and, beneath the cowl, is a detective at his very core. Take all of this into account and you have the blueprint for a decent adaptation of DC Comics' so-called Caped Crusader. So, with the recent release of director Matt Reeves' more brutal, noir-driven take on The Dark Knight now in cinemas, we thought it the perfect time to rank our top 10 best Batman games on PlayStation. And before we begin, just know that this list was originally written by the legendary SAMMY Barker before being adapted into a video version by me. Okay, gruff voices at the ready, because it's time to swear to him. And straight in at number 10 is a souped up re-release which, bizarrely, Sony bought as a console exclusive to help complement the PlayStation 4's launch lineup. Injustice Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition was, effectively, a port of the PS3's Injustice Gods Among Us, no surprises there, but it did bundle in all of its add-on packs and extras. With a huge cast spanning DC Comics icons like Batman and Wonder Woman through to more obscure, lesser-known names, this licensed fighter proved a worthy content-packed alternative to the traditional stalwarts of the genre like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Plus, you get to run over unsuspecting victims using the Batmobile as the Caped Crusader pretty much at will. Now that's gonna cause a headache in the morning. In at number 9, and everybody knows by this point that there's no stopping Traveller's Tales once it finds a hit LEGO game. Although, admittedly, it took a fair few years for LEGO Batman 2 DC Superheroes to arrive, following the success of the first LEGO Batman game. However, despite the 4-year gap, this is much the same experience, albeit with more characters than ever before, and even some open world aspects. Getting to explore this brickified version of Gotham City felt, and still does, like a true triumph, letting you whiz around as Batman and pals either in solo or glorious split-screen co-op. Fairly or unfairly, Batman Arkham Origins faced an uphill battle right from the outset. Developed by Warner Bros. Montreal rather than Rocksteady Studios, this very publicly became the ugly duckling of the Arkham series, sitting in the shadows and largely ignored by the aforementioned British developer. Set in Gotham City and depicting a younger, less refined Batman, a bit like what Robert Pattinson is having to do now, it's far from terrible, with Arkham Origins incorporating many of the same gameplay systems celebrated in the mainline games without necessarily moving the series forward, but it was still fun. A lot of the voice cast was changed. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are missing as Batman and the Joker respectively, meaning that the whole project did give off the whole filler-ish vibe, while the world just waited patiently for Batman Arkham Knight. It is, however, for my money, one of the best on-screen depictions of the early Batman and Joker relationship ever put to screen, and that Mr. Freeze DLC was pretty awesome too. And next up, taking the number 7 spot, is a visual tour de force, with a stunning cinematic campaign that actually felt worth a damn. Injustice 2 saw NetherRealm Studios on top form. With dynamically changing ladders, introducing a new challenge every hour, and a neat loot system which added real replayability to the game, this fighter will forever go down in history as one of the biggest, most graphically stunning efforts ever to release on consoles at the time. It was a worthy fighting game follow-up in almost every way, and we can't wait to see what NetherRealm has in store for Injustice 3? Divisive? Well, it was, wasn't it? Let's be honest. Surprisingly so, in fact, given the sheer overwhelming success of predecessors Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City. Rocksteady's long-anticipated Batman Arkham Knight massively increased the scale of its sandbox and issued you with a tank-like vehicle to help you navigate it. This was cleverly integrated into the series' tried and trusted environmental puzzles, but some people argued that its car combat encounters were tedious and just a tad overused. Regardless of any criticism though, when this threequel was on song, it still exhibited the very best of the Arkham series, with crunching combat and a drizzly open world to explore. Plus, despite being a PlayStation 4 title that's almost 7 years old, it still looks cracking even today. I guess just brilliant art design and largely being set at night can help work wonders. Released during the episodic game boom, Batman the Telltale series was the Walking Dead developer Telltale Games' 5-episode take on the Caped Crusader. Rather than focus solely on the Dark Knight, however, like so many other Batman games before it had, it peeked behind the cowl and raised important questions about Bruce Wayne's ethics and morality, something we don't often see. While it exhibited many of the same technical shortcomings that plagued its predecessors, this predominantly point-and-click adventure presented a different pace for the eponymous hero. Okay, now settle down, I'll admit we're cheating a bit, but please just give us this one. In at number 4 is a remaster compilation featuring seminal PS3 superhero titles Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City. Handled by outsourcing studio Virtuos, the visual improvements are minimal, we'll admit, and honestly, at times, mess with the somber visual style of the original games. However, the quality of the included games is absolutely undeniable. 2 of the greatest superhero titles of all time, and thus, Batman Return to Arkham still comes highly recommended on our list, even if we admit it ultimately could have been handled a little better. In at number 3, and it's a continuation of Batman the Telltale series, Batman the Enemy Within continues the plot of point-and-click developer Telltale Games' unique superhero universe. With the introduction of John Doe, an Arkham Asylum patient who later would become the Joker, Bruce Wayne's fractured psyche is further challenged, leading to moral decisions you must make as both billionaire businessman and, of course, the Caped Crusader himself. A transformative title that put British developer Rocksteady among the very best, Batman Arkham Asylum's psychological storyline captivated players from start to finish. It also introduced a violently compelling combat system, designed around counters and combos, which would go on to be replicated by dozens of other superhero titles, including Sony's own Marvel Spider-Man. But this wasn't just about fisticuffs and fancy cinematics. The titular Arkham Asylum proved a labyrinth playground for the Caped Crusader's gadgets and gizmos, requiring Bruce Wayne's alter ego to use his brain just as much as his brawn. And in at number 1, the bigger and apparently better sequel to Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City expanded upon the stealth action puzzle foundations of its predecessor by serving up one of the PlayStation 3's finest titles. The Caped Crusader is once again tasked with putting a stop to the machinations of Gotham's many baddies, which results in some incredible boss fights and many memorable story moments. Is it any surprise that Batman Arkham City is since widely regarded as one of the best superhero games ever made? So there you have it guys, in terms of our official ranking for the 10 best Batman games playable today on PlayStation consoles. Do you agree with our picks, or is there a game entry that you feel is missing off of our list? Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. And then, once you've done that, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like and consider subscribing to the Push Square YouTube channel to stay up to date with everything else PlayStation related. And until next time, as ever, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.